Flosstube, welcome back. I'm Erin, the 2 Martini Stitcher, both here on Flosstube, on YouTube, really, and Instagram, and this is my channel about cross stitch. So hope you are here for some cross stitching goodness. It is Sunday, July 12th. It's the 12th of July, and we're back for another cross stitch happy hour. Cheers. If you're a regular subscriber, you know we do a little cross stitch happy hour together on Sundays, and I'm gonna do a little bit of life update Q&A, show some progress on some stitching projects that I'm working on. We'll talk a little bit about plans, and I have quite a bit of haul for somebody who's in Stitch for Stash, but it's just because order stuff is delayed. That's really all. I'm still doing good on the Stitch for Stash. So that's good. Hold on, I'm gonna mute so you guys don't hear all my notifications. There we go. So today's happy hour beverage is this little yummy cider. My family and I were on a little getaway this past week. We went down to Seaside, Oregon. Just our family, rented a house down there just to get a little change of scenery. So that was great. It was like being at home, but somewhere else. And our house was like right on the promenade and the beach there. So we did a bunch of biking, took the dog on walks. It was a bit rainy, as it can be on the Oregon coast. So we played some games and puzzles. But we picked up at the grocery store, my husband and I did this cider. It's Two Town Cider House. And it's a raspberry lemonade cider. Yum. Just the perfect thing for summer. And that was left over. That came home with us. So, yeah, so it was a great little getaway. Just 4 days. Took a day to drive down there and spent 2 days at the beach and came home. And now it's been a good weekend. Not much else going on here. And yeah, it was a nice little trip. Good to have just a different change of scenery. Felt like we got out and did something, even though it was all still very socially distanced. Just our family. Did takeout from a couple places, and it was nice to have a house. So at the grocery store, and it was the dog's first time to the beach. Not a fan of water. We think he might like water. He did not like the waves. That was for sure. He's a short little guy though, so I think the waves coming at him were a little. That was a fun time, and then just back to the usual things since we've been back. Yesterday, the husband had to go buy a new lawnmower because last weekend our youngest daughter was mowing and finally killed the lawnmower. It's been hanging on. It's been hanging on by a thread for a very, very long time. We bought the mower used when we moved into this house right before Becca was born, and she's 14 and a half. So it was not new when we purchased it. We moved from not a tiny house. It was a starter house, but it was on an itty bitty lot, what we would call in town. We were in town in Redmond, and we had a lawnmower for that house that was an electric lawnmower. But bear in mind, this was like 15 years ago, so it didn't have like, battery technology is not what it is now. It didn't have like a battery on it. You literally plugged it in, and we had a 100-foot extension cord, and you could do, like, if you plugged it in the front of the house, you could do the whole front yard, plug it in the back of the house, do the whole backyard with the 100-foot extension cord. Then we moved out to the country. It's like 6 miles, but it's a big difference. And we have like almost an acre. So we got a push mower. The girls have been pushing very hard for a riding mower, but nope, they still got to push it. It's not a push mower. I mean, it's self-propelled. Let's not feel that bad for them. So husband went out and bought a new lawnmower yesterday, and I did a deep clean of the fridge, because sometimes you gotta do that. So that was my week. Hope you guys had a great week. I feel like I don't have a ton of works in progress to show. I have a little bit of haul. I do have some. Oh, I went through all the comments. Of course, I love your comments and questions, and reading them all is so fun. I read them all, and I'll put a little heart by them if I read them. I don't respond to every single one because I just don't have time, but I so appreciate all of the comments. Last week I had talked about the rechart for Sing a Sampler. I should have brought that up with me. I didn't do that. I talked to Annie about it, and she brought up a very good point, and we chatted about it. And the concern that when she brought up, I was like, oh yeah, you're right, is there's a concern that would be a copyright infringement distributing that, because it's a rechart of the words that Silver Creek Samplers put out. So, sorry, my phone is buzzing on the table. It's very annoying. So there is a concern that would be a copyright infringement because it is their font and their charting. And so to just redistribute that. So all that to say, I'm not going to be passing that around. Here's the deal. I have a crazy hair. If you do the Sing a Sampler 4 and 4, and you put when you know the notes to sing on the top, you can sing most anything on the bottom, it's a little too long as charted for the top. I looked at it. You just have to squish them together a little bit more. Like, I could have figured it out myself for sure. You just have to close up some of the spaces. I think like 3. I think it's like 3 squares too long. So just squish that together up top, and then at the bottom, you can sing most anything. If you line it up with the left frame at the bottom, you're gonna have extra space at the end. I'm gonna throw a note. Like, there's notes in the chart, I think on Fa. I'm just gonna put one of the little notes on the end so it's not blank space. So there you go. That is my guide to recharting Sing a Sampler. Squish them together a little bit more up top, and you could space them out on the bottom if you didn't want to throw a note. I'm probably too lazy to do that, and I'll probably just put a couple little notes at the end, but you could just space it out a little bit more, throw a few extra spaces in along the bottom. Also probably 3 squares or 4 squares. So that's Sing a Sampler, but there were a couple questions about that, so I thought I would put that out there. I also had a question about counting stitches, about how I count my stitches. And so I was going to show you all the app that I use. Now, I have an Android phone. There may be the same app on iPhone. It's literally, the one I use is called Counter. See it right here? It's called Counter. I'm pretty sure I just put Click Counter in the Play Store, but that's what it looks like. I like it because you can have multiple lists of WIPs, or my daughter's texting me. You can keep multiple lists of counters. I think you max out at how many you can have. So I now have 2 lists of my WIPs, but I like it because you can put pictures. So you can see I have pictures of my WIPs. And then let's say I'm gonna work on, like, this is my friend's collage. I just reset it to 0 and then just press the little there. So the way I work it is I use this counter, and this way I can have like multiple projects going on. Like, there's 4 challenges each week in Enchanted Stitching. Like, if I'm working on multiple projects, I have multiple counters going. So that's why I like this app. What I'll tend to do is like stitch a whole, if I'm working in one color, maybe stitch a whole thread, and then I'll go back and count how many stitches that was, or maybe I'll do a whole motif and count that motif. It just depends on what kind of pattern I'm working on. And then that's how you do it. Just literally click, click, click. So I'll be looking at my pattern and I'll, be looking at it, I'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, like kind of the same way you do in your head as you're stitching it. You're like, oh, I'm going across 5, down 1, back 3, whatever. Then I just click, 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 click. So that's the one I use. I'll show you again what the icon looks like. But there's a bunch of them. It was free. It didn't cost anything. So that's the click counter. I've also had some questions about the timer I'm using to keep track of my 100 hours. It's literally the built-in clock on my Android phone. I wish it were something fancy, but the built-in clock has like alarms. It has a world clock, a stopwatch, and then the timer. And I just set it for 100 hours and I start, pause, resume as I'm working on Harry Potter. So I hope that was helpful. I know some people have like actual physical little click counters. So you can do that. I mean, some people just use like tally marks on a piece of paper. But I found that little counter to be super handy because you can have multiple and you can change the picture. So I have one for every single WIP. It is very satisfying when you can delete it though, because you finished that project. So that's always very satisfying when I can delete the counter because the project's done. So that's it. The last thing I wanted to do, housekeeping wise, is to give you a little update on VeloStitchers. So for those of you who have been around for a while, but if you're new, I'm on a team for VeloSano, which is a fundraiser for the Cleveland Clinic. It's to raise money for cancer research. So VeloSano is typically a bike race that happens this coming weekend. Like if it were happening in person, which it can't because COVID, it would be happening this coming weekend, the 17th, 18th, and 19th. And it's typically a 100-mile bike ride. And a bike. And a bunch of stitchers, spearheaded by Alicia at Resist Stitch. She's Resist Stitch on Instagram, and I will link her below. She kind of spearheaded the team and asked me to come on the team. And so I was absolutely, yes. And we are stitching 100 hours. I pledged to stitch 100 hours on one project. And we're raising money for cancer research. So our goal for VeloStitchers is $10,000, which is big. So we've been fundraising since the beginning of June. The event was this weekend, but we're going to continue fundraising through July. And we are currently sitting at, when I looked this morning, we're at $7,548. So that's really exciting. And I think we can get there. So my personal current fundraising, and I had set a goal of $1,000, was $835 earlier today. So close. So if you can drop a few dollars, the links will be below to give you all the information about VeloSano, that we have turned into a marathon stitching event, because that's what stitchers do. Come in and take things over and turn it into a stitching event. All the information is below, along with a link where you can donate if you are able. If you can't, because I know it's a tough time financially for a lot of people, but if you could even just help get the word out, that would be awesome. So that's the update on VeloStitchers, and I'm super excited for this weekend. It's actually kind of a busy weekend for me coming up because the girls have their sort of dance recital showcase. Not even sure what it's going to end up looking like. It might just be, it's going to be totally small groups, like a couple kids doing their dance with the parents outside. it is what it is. We're just excited that we get to see them, get to see all the hard work that they've put in over this past year in their dance classes. But that's this weekend. So I'm hoping it'll also be marathon stitching to get in the hours I need on Harry Potter book covers. So that seems to be a good segue. It's been 15 minutes and I haven't showed you any stitching. That's kind of ridiculous. Let's get to some stitching. And this seems like a good segue to show you Harry Potter. I have little, oh, I didn't bring up the full picture. You guys know what this project looks like, right? I'll pop a picture in right here because I have to do editing anyway. So I'll pop a picture in right here of what the finished piece is going to look like. That's Harry Potter book covers. I am doing the supersize max color version of the US covers by Fox and Teacup Designs. And it came off the Q-snaps yesterday. Friday. It came off the Q-snaps. I was hoping to have it off for today, but I really needed to get some time into it last night because I only have a week left. I have a week until the VeloSano event, and I still have 31 and a half hours left to put in this. So I've put in just shy of 70 hours so far. 31 and a half this coming week would be a huge stretch. So I don't think that I'm making the 100 hours by this weekend. However, I will by the end of the month. We're always planning on fundraising all the way through the end of the month. I really would have loved to have had all 100 hours done by this weekend. I still maybe could. We'll see. But for sure, by the end of the month, I will have all 100 hours into this. So it was off the Q-snap on Friday. I took a picture of it while it was out of the Q-snap so you could see the whole thing. And I will put that picture here. Doesn't it look so good? I'm getting so close to the bottom. When I put it back into the Q-snap, I'm not going to have to move it again until I'm done with this book. Are you guys ready? So you can see I started back up again as it went back into the Q-snap. So there we go. That's the bottom. I think I'm going to make it to the bottom of book 2 by the end of the month, guys. I mean, that's still, don't get me wrong, like let's look at all those squares. It's still a lot of stitching, but I think I can do it. So you guys might also notice that there's a little difference between the picture I just put in of where it was on Friday and now. I did decide to take out, I'm going to stitch this without J.K. Rowling's name on it. So I had the J stitched, it was right in here, and I picked that out and restitched it, restitched it with the new pattern. The designer of Fox and Teacup Designs, Jessica, she very kindly recharted this without J.K. Rowling's name on it and distributed it to anyone who had purchased the pattern already. So, and then I think going forward, if you buy it, you'll get both versions. So there we go. So I can't, like, this is what I was working on this past week. So you can see I worked on his pants. I think that's the tip of the Phoenix's wing from the full illustration of the book. I think that's the tip of the Phoenix's wing, but I was working on the end of Harry's wand and his pants, and now like right here, it's gonna get into like the diamond pattern that's at the bottom of the book jacket. So exciting. I'm so excited, guys. 31 and a half more hours in this to cure cancer. I'm going to personally cure cancer by stitching. No, but we're going to raise some good money. I am so proud of the work that you guys have already done and helped us get to where we are. And I just know I'm going to be able to push us over the top by the end of the month to $10,000 for cancer research. That's so awesome. Okay, so what else was I working on this week? Well, I worked on, I'm doing Uno in Semi-Sane Stitchers. It's a game through the group Semi-Sane Stitchers, and you had to pick 4 whips to put on your kind of like Uno board, and they're calling numbers. So if they call a number 1 to 4, you work on that whip, and then you can like skip ahead, reverse, draw 2, you have to work on 2. It's pretty fun. The 4 I picked went with me to Seaside, and they're pretty much all I've worked on this week. So I have gotten some good progress on those projects, which is pretty fun, but it's made for not much of a whip rotation. So Harry Potter book covers is one of them. The number 2 whip on my Uno board is Love My Stitching. And this I had been working on, just putting like 1 strand of floss in a day, but between Uno and I stitched on this in the car because it's 14 count Aida and really easy to see, it got some good progress. So there we go. There's Love My Stitching. So this is on 14 count white Aida with some DMC colors I picked to match the fabric. It's charted in just 3 colors. So I just picked 3 that would look good with the fabric that I bought to make the project bag, because this will be finished as a project bag. Love My Stitching is a collaboration with So Much to Love and Hands On Design. So it was charted and finished as a project bag, and the finishing instructions came in the pattern. So there we go. So I know I think I finished out floss, started these, there'll be little gray tags on here, so they'll look like skeins of floss. Started hoop, did sampler, and did the little tomato down here, and some buttons. So I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, partially because I ran out of this teal colored floss, 3848. I ran out on my trip. On the way down to Seaside, I ran out. So I did some of the green, and then when I got home, I happened to have another skein at home. So I didn't even have to go get another one. That was nice. But yeah, 14 count Aida eats floss. It eats floss. I don't know if it says in the pattern that you need 2 skeins, but there we go. So I have hoop, and I think there's a little hoop, and then buttons, and there's a set of 4 buttons, so I have 1.5. There's a little sampler motif that goes here, and then the word pins, and then I'm done. So this I think will be a finish, like maybe next week, if not for sure the week after, but this is on my WIP Go board. WIP Go is a group started by Jessie Marie of Jessie Marie Does Stuff. I'll link her Flosstube below because she's fantastic, and she runs a fantastic group that's kind of like WIP bingo. So this is on my WIP Go board, and yeah, so that was some good progress. This was what I stitched on in the car because it was just really easy to see. And then the number 3 whip on my WIP Go board is Arranging Vegetables, and I made these all fit for Enchanted Stitching Tasks this week too. So these, actually just 3, Harry Potter, Arranging Vegetables, and Love My Stitching. I made them all fit. I don't remember what the tasks are, sorry. And I didn't write them down in my planner this week. This is what happens when I go on vacation, is I came back and, but so this is also on my WIP Go board, which is when it was called for this month. So that's one of the reasons why I picked this one. So Arranging Vegetables, I'm stitching this on a 28 count Irish linen in the color tea dyed. I didn't tea dye this, it came, that's the color. And here's my progress. I can't remember what all I did. I think I finished off these carrots. I know that. And then brought this vine out, did this leaf, this, what is that? Is that an artichoke? I think it's an artichoke. And these little peppers. So there we go. So this is over halfway done. And I've already put a full skein of this deep forest into it. I've started on the 2nd skein. It tells you you need to. So there we go. So this has been really fun. And I think if I keep picking up this, I mean, like, it actually goes pretty quick. I think I just don't pick it up that often. That's why it's been lingering. Because this is, an older WIP for me, which is one of the reasons it went on my WIP Go board. But there we go. So there's arranging vegetables. But I think if I keep picking at this, like, could maybe potentially be a finish this month too. Who knows? Okay, and then the last one on my Uno game picks, my number 4 WIP, is Heartstring Samplery Advent Candles Ornaments. Advent Candle Ornament set. And I'm doing these as a gift for Christmas gift for my parents. So this was a new start. This is a new start for me. I am stitching these. It's called for 40 count linen. And so I am stitching it on a 40 count platinum linen. And this is my first-ish project on 40 count. I think I inadvertently started something on a 40 count that was a mystery linen, but this I knew was 40 count. I was gonna give 40 count a try. I kind of love it. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of love it. And these are sweet little stitches, guys. And I already have the first one done. So I started and finished Hope. I think I'm only gonna do 4, partially because I think I could have squished more on here, but I'm gonna give these to a finisher to finish, and I wanted to leave plenty of margin. Like, I would cheat myself and make myself work with hardly anything, but I knew that 4 would fit on here super easy. And so I'm gonna do just the 4, Hope, Joy, Peace, Love. Because the Christ candle is the middle white candle for Christmas Day. And I don't know that my mom puts out an Advent wreath anymore. I mean, we always had one growing up, but I'm not sure with her and my dad. Maybe they do. But I thought for sure that she could at least hang these like on her kitchen cabinet, you know, like knobs. She has like a sideboard that, you know, kind of has decorative dishes in it, that I thought maybe she could just hang them up, one for each week. And I wasn't sure that she would hang up the last one. Maybe. We'll see. But for right now, I think I'm planning on just doing the 4 for the 4 weeks of Advent, for the 4 Sundays in Advent. So, so Hope is done. And they're pretty quick stitch. And I really was kind of thinking that it would be nice to start 1 a week and get them all done this month for Jolly July. This is kind of my Jolly July. So there's Hope, really sweet. This is all charted in Gloriana's. Yes, yes, charted in Gloriana. I'm not doing it in Gloriana. So it's charted, the leaves are charted, I don't know if you guys can see, in like 2 different colors, a darker green and a lighter green. And so it's like dark, light, dark. I just chose a like more variegated Weeks dye work. So I'm using Blue Spruce, Weeks Dye Works Blue Spruce. I don't know if you can tell how variegated that is. Here, it's pretty good light to dark. There you go. And I think it gives a really pretty effect without using 2 different colors of green. So I'm really happy with the way that's stitching up on the leaves. I don't know if you guys can see that really. It looks really nice. So I'm using Weeks Dye Works Blue Spruce for the leaves, Turkish red for the berries, because Turkish red is just perfect Christmas red. And then I'm using Sable, Gentle Art Sable for the words. And then the candles are either lavender or pink for the Advent candles. Like 3 of the weeks are lavender. The Joy week is pink. And then for just the little bottom, the bottom of the candle, the holder and the flame was a gold. I think it was called for Gloriana Sunflower. And I'm using Classic Colorworks Honeycomb. So this is 1 strand over 2 threads on 40 count. They are so sweet. Love Heartstring Samplery. Sweet little stitches. And so I'm hoping to get the next one done next week. So that's the goal, is to get one of these done a week. First one's done. They're a fun little stitch, although I'm feeling by the 4th one I'm going to be tired of stitching those little, like, leaves or pine branches. I guess they're really pine branches. Okay, so those are the 4 things that are on my Uno board. It's not really an Uno board that I'm using for the Uno game. And then the only other thing I stitched on this week was yesterday. I worked a little on Needles Dance because I'm also doing semi-sane alphabet soup. So we're working through the alphabet. Every 2 weeks the letter changes, and right now we're on N. So I'm using Needles Dance for my N, and the 2 weeks ends on Tuesday. So I haven't worked on this at all. So I pulled out Needles Dance and worked some on that. And this is my progress. This was a Mania start, Needles Dance, and I am stitching this on, this is a 32 count hand dyed by Stephanie fabric. Hold on, I'm sure I have the tag in here. Yes, hand dyed by Stephanie Summer Breeze, 32 count linen, which is not the called for, but it, you know, it's close. It's a blue. And then I'm using all the called for threads. So I put in, I think I had the F done. I think I had the night and the F, and I put in forest, and I brought this border down and around, which totally met up. And then I brought this border down and down over here. And this is all the way to the next page. So I think that this will be this is not a like super long stitch. I just don't know how much focus it's gonna get to get it done quickly, but I love it. It's really pretty. So that's what I have on it so far. I'll probably work on this on Tuesday a little bit more. Today I'm supposed to be working on, today's the 12th, which means I'm supposed to be working on Crosses of the Kingdom because I work on that project on the 12th typically. So I need to work on that a little tonight because I haven't touched it yet. Tomorrow's the 13th, which is dark 13 stitching. Apparently we've moved right into plans. Did you see that? This is the last of my whips. We've moved into plans. Plans! I need to work on Crosses of the Kingdom a little bit today. Tomorrow's the 13th, so dark 13 stitching. I will pull out Tingles. And then I'll probably work a little bit more on Needles Dance, as well as like whatever the Uno spins are. They're typically only 100 or 200 stitches, so I can usually get those done pretty quickly because the projects that I have for them are all pretty quick stitches. Like Love My Stitching and Arranging Vegetables, like it's monochromatic, it's pretty quick stitching. So I can usually bang those out pretty quick. So I'll do those as they're called. Crosses today, Tingles tomorrow, Needles Dance Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm supposed to work on Meow Block because it's birthday. Year old. That whip's a year old now. But I just worked on that because that was my M for alphabet soup. So I think I'm going to skip it. Not going to work on it on its birthday, I don't think, because I'm going to need to be working on like the advent calendar ornament. So I'll probably work on that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Stars Bright, my anniversary piece, next Saturday. So those are the plans for this week. So you'll probably be seeing a lot of these same whips again next week, but hopefully I'm getting good progress on them, and who knows, Love My Stitching might be done. That'd be exciting. But then that means I have to haul out the sewing machine. Maybe it'll make me get out the sewing machine and do some finishing. Because I'm getting it out, maybe I might as well do some other finishing. We'll see. Okay, so that's plans. That leads me to what came in the mail. What did I purchase that came in the mail? Or just purchases, actually, because I had some purchases that were PDFs. So first thing, I didn't show this last week. I just totally forgot about it. I got Black Needle Society Frogwarts Retreat in a Box came. Yay! So if Black Needle Society does actual in-person retreats. Not right now, but they do. And Frogwarts Year 1 was supposed to happen this weekend. I was not signed up to go to the retreat because I knew that I was going to be in New York. I was supposed to be in New York Nationals. I was supposed to be somewhere with one of the kids these weeks. So I wasn't signed up for the Frogwarts retreat. However, when it got canceled, they said, we're going to send everybody who signed up the retreat in a box, and they had some extras for sale. So I bought just the box. There's lots of fun stuff in here. I did an unboxing video that I will post this week. So also, if you can't wait and are dying to see what's in this, I believe Michelle Garrett, Bendy Stitchy, showed it all in her Flosstube this weekend. But I did an unboxing video, which is why then I forgot to show it on last week's Flosstube. But look for that little special unboxing video. Fun stuff. I can now give a 2 thumbs up, high recommend to any of the retreat in a boxes from Black Needle Society. So I'll drop that box opening video. I don't know what to call it. Reveal, retreat in a box reveal video, maybe Wednesday or Thursday this week. So that was the first thing I wanted to show. Then some things did come in the mail. So we'll start with maybe what I ordered the longest ago. I got a package from Sassy Jacks. I placed this order back in like April. And at the time they mailed me, it was when I bought the Sewing Club book that I showed quite a while ago. And I said something was back ordered and I would show you guys when it came in. It finally came in. Yay! So this is from April. No big deal. Kimberly does beautiful packaging. I would totally buy from Sassy Jacks any day of the week. They put in lovely little extras in their packages. They're packaged so nicely and great communication. They put a little Stitch and Be Well like project sticker in there. And they also included, here it is, a little, this is their little Sassy Jacks stitchery, but it's a corner gauge. Isn't that cool? And I throw these in a lot of my project bags because it's really handy for finding your corner, whether or not you want to be like 2 inches to 1, 2, 3 inches from the corner. And I think it's a little piece of one of their samplers. Isn't that cute? Anyhow, what did I get? I think at the time I told you, you guys are going to die when you see what else I ordered because I had just lost my mind. This was part of my I lost my mind stitching. This is what I ordered with the bead pack. I bought Lady Justice. And I was like, I'm apparently going to stitch Mirabilias. But I love this. I love this so much. Have you guys seen Gary already finished his? And it is the most gorgeous. He changed her hair and skin tone. Beautiful. I think was it just yesterday's? Sunshine Stitchers. I will link them below. Go check out Gary's Lady Justice. Absolutely stunning. I will not be stitching this as quickly as he did. I don't even know when I'm going to start it or what fabric I'm going to use. Because now I'm going to, like, since I purchased this, I purchased another Mirabilia, Tree of Hope. I was gifted Touching the Autumn Sky, and that's going to be my first start. But now I have Lady Justice with the beads because I'm going to stitch that someday. She's beautiful. I will stitch her someday. Okay, so that came in. I also got some brandy fabric. Stick that up there. There we go. I also got some brandy fabric from Be Stitch Me. This was from Friday Night Fight Night 2 weeks ago. And I'm so glad to be getting this because I think I'm going to have to stay away. Even though I'm doing Stitch from Stash, which I'm doing very well, I'm well above water because I had my Personalist Political finish and I've only spent $6.50 this month. Partially because I did not set my alarm for Friday Night Fight Night in Brandy's group. Missed them. However, I placed a custom order, so it's all fine. And this I got from Friday Night Fight Night a couple weeks ago. This is honey in a 32 count. How pretty is that? Like just golden color. I mean, that's just begging for a sampler, isn't it? Some kind of sampler? I don't know. It's beautiful. So that's Honey from Be Stitch Me. Another beautiful piece of fabric from Brandy. If you have not checked out her website or her group yet, I will link them both below. The one purchase I've had this month is thanks to Brandy, actually. So I'll show you that now, because she posted in her group that she is doing a custom fabric. I'm pulling up the picture. I thought I had it. Do I not have it? She posted up in her group that she is dyeing a custom fabric for the new Tempting Tangles. Let me find it. Here we go. Tempting Tangles has a new stitch along coming out called Enjoy the Sunshine. Let me see, here's, see if I can pull up the like teaser photo. That's not much of a teaser photo. I know I've seen better ones. Well, so you guys know Tempting Tangles does Quakers. So here's a little bit of the teaser photo for Enjoy the Sunshine. And the description on it was birds and garden and sitting out in the garden with your lemonade and enjoying the birds. And Brandy is dyeing a beautiful pale yellow fabric called a lemon just for the stitch along. I've never done one of the Tempting Tangles stitch alongs, but I love Quakers and they're so, I love their patterns. You've probably seen them. It's like Quakers in France and Quakers in Holland, and she does seasonal ones too. And I don't have a ton of summer stitches, so I was kind of on the fence about this one anyway. You guys know I'm not great with keeping up with a stitch along. However, this starts in the middle of August. I think it's 12 parts bi-weekly, so it finishes in March. But the parts are 45 by 45 stitches. I can stitch that in 2 weeks, right? I'm gonna try really hard, I think, to keep up with this stitch along. But it means I might need to order some more fabric from Brandy. The color of the linen and Aida that she's dyeing is so pretty. I think she has even weave too, which always dyes a little lighter, but it's this beautiful pale yellow. The stitch along, so I purchased the stitch along. Here's the thing, and the other reason that Tempting Tangles really got me. If you sign up for the stitch along, it's $6.50. Once it's all like released, if it goes into their regular store, they're like, you know, a normal chart price for a chart that big, like $13. $6.50 just seems like a really good deal. So I'm in, I've bought the stitch along, I'm in the Facebook group, and I think I'm gonna need to order that beautiful fabric from Brandy. So that was my one purchase this week. Okay, but I did have some other things come in that I had pre-ordered. I had a pre-order come in from Abby at Top Knot Stitcher Shop. I had placed a pre-order, and then I had also ordered some needle minders and floss at the same time. If you haven't checked out Abby's shop, it's Top Knot Stitcher Shop. Top Knot Stitcher. I'll link it below. If you haven't checked her out lately, go check her out because she's adding like lots of stuff. She went and did Market, and so, you know, she used to have an Etsy shop. I think she still does have the Etsy shop with lots of needle minders. Then she started doing some patterns. Now she's getting a lot of flosses in. Like, Abby's store is turning into like a full-fledged online needlework shop, and it's pretty exciting. So go check it out. I had pre-ordered this from her and ordered a few other things and said just hold on to all of it until the pattern comes in. Like, you don't need to ship to me twice. But this is the pattern I pre-ordered, and you guys know I don't pre-order a lot of stuff, but hands-on design new Let's Talk series, and this is Let's Talk Autumn. So this is going to be my new seasonal stitch. Now that I'm done with all the yearbooks, this is going to be my new seasonal stitch. I pre-ordered dirty chalkboard fabric from Brandy at Stitch Me, and I've got it's charted in all DMC, and I'm going to be doing this big one and then also this little hoop here. But all 3 charts come in here. She had one that I think was summer. Maybe that was in a calendar years and years and years ago that looked like this. But she doesn't have the rights to it because it was in a calendar. And so you could purchase it maybe from the distributor. I'm not totally sure. But she'd gotten asked a lot if she would do the rest of the series. Well, she didn't want to do 3 more and not have people be able to get the summer one. She wanted to be able to release a new set. So if you happen to have that summer chalkboard set, I think it was summer. It might have been winter. I feel like maybe it was winter. I don't know. She had done 1 season. Those of you who actually know what I'm talking about are probably yelling at the TV, at the screen, at me. I know. I have barely a grasp on the facts. She had done 1. She wanted to redo. So if you've done that one, these will match. Like they're charted in the same size, but she's recharting that season as well a little differently and releasing the whole set. So this is the first one. First one in a new series, Let's Talk. And I love it. I love it. So I've been thinking about August. I like the idea of an autumn August. Someone was talking about autumn August and doing autumn. I think this might be a start for me to do a little bit of autumn August, but I'm pretty married at the moment to the idea of doing arbitrary August. I'm putting all of my WIPs on a wheel, abandoning my normal schedule, and just spinning the wheel every day and working on whatever WIP comes up, including my full coverage. Like I'm gonna put the full coverage on there and everything and just work on a different WIP every day. But this might have to be a start August 1st. Depends on if I get the fabric. Whenever I get the fabric, this might be a start. So that I got from Abby. I picked up a couple needle minders. I got this one. You see that beautiful fall heart tree? I got that for touching the autumn sky, and then I just could not resist. I love the Queen of Hearts. I do. I just love her. And I thought that card was great. And someday I'm going to do Royal Games. I have Royal Games all charted up, the Mirabilias, and I thought that those would be fun for Royal Games. And then I picked up, she had a few of the colors, DMC colors I needed, but not all of them. So I got a couple of the DMC for the Let's Talk. I got another Zach Black. See, this is what I'm saying. She's carrying Classic Colorworks now because I only have a few strings. I use this quite a bit. I think it's a great, like, dark gray. Like, this feels like, to me, like a great sub for like 413, 414 ish DMC. And then she also had quite a bit of the Etoile, and I had been looking for some yellow. I thought I had some for a project and I didn't, so I bought like 3 different colors of like the yellow gold Etoile because I think I want to use this for Barbara Anna Light, for the shine of the light in Barbara Anna Light. So I don't know, I picked up all 3 colors of yellows that she had. So that was my order from Abby. And then I gotta hustle up, guys, because I have a meeting here in just a few minutes. I got my nest egg, my June nest egg from 3 Owl Threads, and I get 10 skeins of Classic Colorworks and 10 skeins of Gentle Arts. So here are the Classic Colorworks. I got Brown Hen, Bella Rosa, if that isn't just like the prettiest pale pink, Bella Rosa, Boysenberry Jam, Candy Corn, definitely looks like candy corn, Cappuccino, Carrie Berry, that's fun and is actually pretty variegated. Carrie Berry, candied yams. These are showing up a little brighter with my ring light. Caramel. Bambino. And this one's like actually, like you don't normally see this kind of much like color change variegation usually in classic Colorworks, I feel like. But this is like a pink, violet, peach. That's pretty. And then chai. So those are the classic Colorworks that came this month from 3 Owl Threads. And then I got my Gentle Arts. So I got Fragrant Cloves, which I've never had, and everybody talks about being like one of their favorite oranges. That's showing up way bright. Fragrant Cloves, fantastic color. Grape Arbor. Freedom, love that color blue. Look at that. That's a great teal blue. Glass Slipper, this was one of their new Nashville colors. I've already used that one. Forest Glade. This gets used in a lot of things. That'll get put to good use. Flax. A nice like ivory to tan. Garden Gate. That gets used a lot. I know I'll use that in a Blackbird Designs. Ginger Snap. Geranium. And Gold Leaf. I feel like I always need gold leaf. So fantastic. Love, I'm like loving this, but I have to figure out another, I've got to figure out some kind of floss storage now that I'm beefing up my floss stash, because on a ring in a little like 31 tote bag is not really cutting it anymore. I'm feeling a major craft area organization overhaul coming, because this room is my craft room, but it has become my husband's home office while he's working from home, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So I'm considering moving everything. We'll see. But I gotta figure out some kind of floss storage. How do you guys store your stash of overdyed flosses? Let me know. I mean, I'm thinking about, I don't know, some kind of tack board or like clothesline, and I don't know, something, because the bag is not working. Okay, the last thing that came is my July bag of the month, which I feel like came early from So Much to Love. So I'm in the So Much to Love Bag of the Month Club. You guys know I love getting this. Karen always includes some amazing themed goodies. And this month is no different. This month, I feel like she knocked it out of the park. She always includes some teas. So this is Blueberry Superfruit. I feel like that's going to be great iced. Might have to have that iced. Maybe tomorrow. Is it going to be warm this week? I feel like it's actually going to be like warmish, like 80-ish around here in the Pacific Northwest. This month also included an exclusive chart from Summerhouse Stitcheworks. Check this out. America. It's called American Harmony. And it's just 2 colors, Blackberry Blue, Blacksmith Blue, and Cherry Cobbler from Classic Colorworks. But I'm feeling like, I don't know, maybe that Freedom might be a great color. I don't know. I know I have blue and red, but look how pretty that is. 2 colors, so pretty. I love Summerhouse Stitchworks. Love that. And then we also got a package of trims from Lady Dot Creates. Look at that. All red, white, and blue to match the pattern. And it came with pins. Lois included instructions on how to remove the palms from the tape. It came with these beautiful little pins, some blue hand-dyed satin ribbon, and some red lace and white pom-pom. Is that not the most fantastic? Like, dead when I opened this package, because she packages everything up so nice in a, like, all the extras are in a little pretty polka dot bag, and when I opened it up, I died. Pattern, trim, tee. Are you ready to see the bag? Look how pretty. And you guys know I'm not the biggest patriotic stitcher. Stitch for Sweet Freedom is going right in this now that I've shown you. Of course, the little red heart pull, the rickrack. Look at the gorgeous flowers, and then the inside is blue and white checking them. I love it. This was over the top. Over the top excited. It's one of the highlights of my month anyway when this bag comes. Love it so much. So that's everything, guys. There's probably not going to be any haul next week because it all came this week. So I think that's all I have other than giveaway. Are you guys ready to do the giveaway? So last week I was giving away this sweet little chart as I'm like shoving everything back in. I was giving away this little sweet chart from Little House Needleworks, Bringing Home the Tree. And I told you to tell me that you wanted to stitch the ornament. And I ran the random YouTube comment picker. And the winner is, let me pull up I took a picture of it. Dreskin Daniela. Let me see, can I get it to focus? Dreskin Daniela, you're the winner. Dreskin said, I would love to stitch the ornament. Great progress, love your projects, thank you. So you're the winner. Shoot me your address, either email me or send me a direct message on Instagram, and I will get that in the mail to you. Yay! Love giveaways. So I've been kind of sticking with the Jolly July theme for the month. So we've done a couple ornaments, but I thought I wanted to give something away that wasn't like so Christmassy, because I think Jolly July could be any like winter scene or winter holiday. Since my bag of the month came from So Much to Love, I picked for this week's giveaway this sweet pattern that came in one of my bag of the months. This is a pattern from the Floss box called Cardinal Days. So it's a sweet little winter scene with some sheep and a cardinal. And I just thought this would be perfect because I think this would fit for Jolly July. It's not too big. I want to say it's like 98 by 98. I will fold this up and put it into an envelope. It's actually already been folded to when it came in my bag of the month. But just if you don't want a chart that's been folded, this might not be the giveaway for you. Please be 18 so I can have your address. Please be a subscriber. Don't say giveaway. And tell me that you want to stitch the cardinal. Cardinal is what I'm going to be looking for. So if you would like to stitch this sweet little winter scene, I could still have it to you by the end of Jolly July, because it's only the 12th of the month. So that's all I've got, guys. Hope you're having a great week. And I will see you back here next Sunday for another Flosstube happy hour. Until then, stay safe, be well. Cheers.